Eagles just traded for Julio Jones. Is this a big deal or not?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I was asking myself that today as well. Like, how big of a deal is this? The one thing is, he's no longer the guy who used to be he's no longer the guy who runs 4.42 coming out. He's probably no longer the 38-inch vertical guy. But what he
I don't even know
is,
that he runs a 4.6.
yeah, I mean, he's slow. He's slow at this point.
He's slow.
But he's got a
He's
huge
slow.
catch radius, and he's a very good blocker, and he's still an elite competitive player, and he's got ball skills, and he's got hands, and he's in middle of the. I bet you he's a little bit more like a tight end than anything,
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's a factor. He's another reason the Niners got to dial up their pursuit of another cornerback.
I mean, I'm intrigued because the Eagles know what they're doing. So it's like, what is the plan here? Because I thought he was washed, but it's possible. I mean, they have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on the outside anyway. So maybe they're looking at Julio Jones in the slot, kind of like how Bruce Arians used Larry Fitzgerald at the end of his career when Larry Fitzgerald was out there running like a 4.9. And it was effective because, like that's Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings runs a 4.7 or a 4.8, and he's still effective in the slot. Maybe Julio Jones can be that guy. Otherwise, I don't think he can play on the outside anymore, man. He's slow. No disrespect. Hall of Famer.
Yeah. But he's a great competitor. He's got great ball skills. I just think when you look at Philly, they don't have, I mean, Goddard, who's their second tight end? Jack Stoll. They don't, I think in some ways they may use him like a tight end at times in the middle of the field. But I mean, and they're a little thin at wide receiver. I mean, they've got Devontae and A.J. Brown, Britton Covey, but it's not the deepest wide receiver core of all time. Maybe
it's not.
Maybe they have a little bit of maybe Devontae and A.J. are getting a little dinged up. I know Lane Johnson's not healthy, right? He's now banged up.
I'd rather have Juwan Jennings than Julio Jones.
Oh, yeah. I like Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings has heart. Tremendous.
I'd rather have Ray McLeod than Julio Jones. Like, you can do a lot with Ray. What are you doing? I can't wait to see what the Eagles do with Julio Jones. I thought he was washed on Tampa. I thought he was washed in Tennessee. Maybe the Eagles have a vision. There's a new plan. I can't wait to see what it is. I can't wait.
I think they're just hoping if you line up a guy with a big rep that maybe he draws attention.
Maybe.
And, people are like, oh, wait a second. Maybe he'll take teams 2 or 3 games to figure out Julio can't run at all. But, it's interesting. It is interesting. It makes me wonder if their receivers are healthy. I'll say this about the Eagles.
Do you think the Niners are really like, oh, my God, really got Julio? What are we going to do? Who in our DB room can run a 4.8? Does anyone run a 4? Hello? I don't know, man. I'm sorry. Sorry to be so snarky to Julio Jones. You had a Hall of Fame career, but I don't think the Niners are scared.
And Howie Roseman's, he believes in some gamesmanship. So maybe he's looking at the Niners in Dallas and some of the injuries they've had at wide receiver and thought, you know what, we'll just block Julio from going there. But I don't think Julio is a difference maker at this point. But as far as the Eagles are concerned, their issue coming out of this Jets game wasn't the loss. Their issue is the fact that they're starting to get banged up. Lane Johnson, Jalen Carter, Darius Slay, Sidney Brown. These guys are all starting to, they're starting to accrue a number of injuries.